And now it is time to head to Studio B for Coleman and Company.
Hello, everybody, and welcome. It is a Monday morning, a frosty one, and we welcome you to our program. Well, Matt Bryson is here this morning as we kick it off for Absolute Kubota, 1506 West Main. Matt, good morning.
Good morning, Coleman.
Good to see you.
Good to see you.
Well, here we are on the last Monday of the year. And I don't know what you want to talk about, but I want to think it's been a good year for Absolute Kubota.
Well, it has, Coleman, and I do want to talk about that a little bit. But there's also, I've got about three things I'd like to kind of run through this morning. I know our time is short, but you know, the first thing is we are, as we kind of wind down the year, this is always a big time for us when it comes to people coming in making those end-of-year tax purchases. And you know, Kubota has a program called Write It Off Your Taxes or Write It Off the Lot. And so just being able to utilize the Section 179 plan. I know a lot of people that speak to their CPAs here at the end of the year, especially in the construction business, and they'll say, hey, you need to probably go spend some money. Well, we've got things you can spend money on to help get those tax deductions. And you know, as we've kind of gone through the month here in December, we've seen a lot of activity on that. And Kubota's got some really good programming to go along with it. So not only do you get the tax deduction, you don't have to come out of pocket of your cash. And so what we're able to do is finance that equipment for you at 0% interest. So you get to keep your cash, take the tax deduction, and make the payment starting in the first of the year. So it's a win-win all the way around.
Well, I'm sure a lot of people have that in the back of their mind, but it kind of helps to remind, and you've got, if it pertains to this year, you've just got a few days.
You do, Coleman. You know, we're open today. We will be closed tomorrow and Wednesday to celebrate Christmas, and then we'll be open the rest of the week, closed on the Saturdays this time of the year. And then I think, what do we have, maybe one day next week before the new year, so Monday. 1 or 2 days. So anyways,
Monday and Tuesday.
Yeah, we'll be open there the first 2 days of next week and then closed for New Year's Day. So anyways, time's getting close. And so if you're looking to make that purchase, we've got some equipment there to help make that happen.
All right. That's one thing.
That's number one. The second thing is, Coleman, this is kind of a tough one to bring up here at the end of the year, but we're not looking forward to the next 20 days, but we've got something coming after that's going to be pretty exciting, and that is that here over about the next 20 days, starting January 1st through January 20th, I'm sure if people follow Kubota corporate much, they'll realize that there is going to be a software upgrade. And I just want to speak on that a little bit this morning because I've had some questions about that and how that pertains to us. And so the first thing is we're going to be business as usual. We've been spending the last probably 3 months really stocking up on parts. Kubota has given us some really good opportunities to kind of load the coffers, if you will, on parts of what we anticipate we're going to need over the next month. The second thing is our sales team will be in full production. We'll be able to sell equipment, finance equipment, all those things. Our service team, we have 4 or 5 guys back there that are technicians in service, plus a couple of guys that run the service department. They'll be all systems go. I think where we're going to see some interruption is in some parts and the ability to get parts. But that's it. And so there's a little bit of noise going on out there online about, you know, that we're going to just be shut down for 20 days. And that is not the case. I mean, we are going to be fully operational. But as these corporations have to make changes, there's always things that we have to go through. And this is one of them. And then after this 20-day period, it's going to look really good. We're kind of operating on a pretty old system, if you will, and it's time for an upgrade. So it is much needed. I wish they could do it faster, but they just not able to do that at this time. So, but just a little disruption in the parts traffic. And the good thing about Kubota dealers nationally is we all work very well together. And so, you know, we're able to pull parts from other locations and things of that. So I think we're going to get through it just fine. But I just want you to know that that's out there and that any of our customers that are seeing that online, I wanted to kind of clear the air, if you will.
Right. That's two.
The third thing, Coleman, I just want to say that, Wilson County is a great place to do business. And I've been a business owner here ever since I got out of college in 2002, had a couple of different businesses. And I believe there is no better place in the United States than to operate a business than right here in Wilson County. Wilson County supports its small businesses. And I can't say enough about the customers that trade with us and how they got a lot of choices, but they choose to do business here locally, and that goes a long ways. And I just want to say thank you to those customers who have chose to do business with us over the year. I'm not going to be able to be here next Monday, and so I just wanted to come out here and make sure that was said.
Okay. All right. So to recap, you will be closed tomorrow and Christmas Day, and then next week you'll be closed on New Year's Day only.
That is correct. And then, of course, we are closed on Saturday this time of the year. So,
all right. Well, it's 1506 West Main, where you'll find Absolute Kubota tractors, hay equipment, zero-turn mowers, RTVs. You got enough RTVs to last?
We got enough to get us through the end of the year.
Right. Good to have you with us. We'll see you next time.
Thank you, Coleman.
All right. Matt Bryson, and that's it for Absolute Kubota. And at 10 minutes after 7 o'clock, it is my pleasure this morning to introduce a gentleman I have seen on a lot of Mondays over the years. He's here as my guest this morning because he's president of the Lebanon Breakfast Rotary, but he's also here this morning because he's just a good guy and somebody I consider a wonderful friend. Billy Mullinax, good morning.
Good morning, Coleman. How are you doing this morning?
Doing well.
It's good to be sitting in this chair again over here. I feel like I'm at home.
It is cold out there, but isn't it beautiful as you look out at a
Yes,
frosty
it is.
morning? Yeah.
Yep.
Here in Middle Tennessee, I wouldn't want to be anywhere else.
Well, just like Matt said, this is a great place to be.
Well, I've told you we'd talk about a number of things, but one thing, you've had an interesting life, and I think you've lived most of it here in Lebanon.
All of it right here in
starting at the
Lebanon,
beginning. Were you born here?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, I was born right here in
Several
Lebanon.
years ago.
Yep. Several. We'll just leave it at that.
When I guess I knew you from the restaurant business, Bonanza and Ponderosa. And,
Yes.
How early in your life did you start there?
I started when I was 16 years old there, Coleman. Really,
which was first?
Well, Bonanza was until November of 1990. Both franchises were owned by the same company as of 1988 or so. And then the owners of Ponderosa and Bonanza were encouraging the local owners of the Bonanzas to convert to Ponderosa and gave them some incentives to do so. And so in November of 1990, all of the Bonanzas in this local area here converted to Ponderosa.
But you were there for a number of years. Did you kind of start on the bottom rung?
Coleman, I started there at 16 years old, washing dishes and bussing tables. And kind of worked up through the ranks and, just enjoyed that 30-plus years that I was there. You learn a lot there about working and how to treat people there in the years that I was there.
Mm-hmm.
So,
but you did work your way up, and you were manager. You were running the place for a pretty good while, weren't you?
Absolutely. Since actually the 1985, I guess, in May of 85, I was promoted into management. And so, was in management for a long, long time.
And what happened? I suppose you. My recollection of history there doesn't. I don't have. All I know is you were there, and then you were in the car business.
Yeah, and Coleman, really, the recession or the downturn in 08, 09, it had, of course, a major impact on a lot of things in this country, lot of businesses, and that was kind of the beginning of a lot of commodity prices shot up. It became just the restaurant business is a tough business.
Yeah. Well,
it really is.
We've got to go to a break here in a minute or two, but how did at what point did you meet Rocky Williams, and how did this come about that you began working for him?
Well, Rocky, and I did not really know Rocky, but Rocky heard that I had went to work for Demas's after the restaurant closed.
Oh.
And Rocky heard that I was at Demas's and came in there and said, "Hey, I'd like to introduce himself. Said, "Hey, I'd like to talk to you." And I really just told him, said, "Hey, I don't know what you want to talk to me about. I'm not a car guy." And so the rest is kind of history. He said, "Well, would you just come and talk to me?" And yeah, I said, "Yeah." And the rest is water under the bridge now.
Well, what was your position when you started to work for Rocky?
Sales.
Okay.
I started at the bottom, and Rocky kind of had in his, at least he told me later, he had in his mind what he wanted me to be his general manager, and so we worked toward that for the next 2 to 3 years.
Well, I promise our listeners we'll get to the Rotary Club, but like I said, you have had an interesting life, and it's all been right here in Lebanon, Tennessee, so you can make it here.
I can make it here, yes. Yes.
We're going to take a break. This is Coleman and Company, FM 98.9.
And now let's check back in with Commander Chuck and on-time traffic, see how we're doing out there on those roadways. Traffic brought to you by Bates Ford, located at 1673 West Main Street. They got the works vehicle checkup for you, tire rotation, safety check, 5 quarts of oil plus disposal, $59.95. And you can give them a call at 444-8221. Here's Commander Chuck.
Good morning. Wrapping up this wreck out here on 24 westbound, right near Briley Parkway, north of town, like you're headed up towards the Jolton area. Give yourself extra time out here. THB's not playing. They're running a lot of radar all over Middle Tennessee. It's trying to build on 24 westbound right now, coming out of Murfreesboro, Rutherford County up through Antioch. Hey, when you need dependable towing, make sure you call STR Towing and Recovery, serving all surrounding counties here in Middle Tennessee. Check out strtow.com. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
When there's work to do, ground to break, and a reputation to uphold, you need the powerful, durable Kubota RTVX, North America's #1 selling diesel utility vehicle. Right now, bring home select Kubota equipment for 0 down, 0% APR for up to 36 months or save $300. Now through September 30th. See us or go to KubotaUSA.com for full disclaimer.
Absolute Kubota, 1506 West Main, Lebanon.
Need a venue for your next corporate training, meeting, luncheon, or customer appreciation event? These are just a few of the event options that the Farm Bureau Expo Center can accommodate within its 79,000 square feet of adaptable event space. The Farm Bureau Expo Center offers unparalleled versatility for corporate events in Wilson County. Come on by and check us out. For booking details as well as upcoming events, visit farmbureauexpo.com or find us on Facebook. We look forward to seeing you soon at the Farm Bureau Expo.
And we thank you for joining us here on a Monday morning. Let me just mention, before I get back to my guest here, the holiday schedule for trash pickup in the city of Lebanon. The 25th, Christmas Day, Wednesday pickup will be Thursday. Thursday's pickup will be Friday. Friday will be picked up Saturday. And then for New Year's, the first Wednesday of the year will be Thursday, and Thursday's pickup will be Friday, and Friday's pickup will be Saturday. It's just that on the holiday, you're a day late. So keep all that in mind. Billy Mullinax is my guest this morning. He's president of the Lebanon Breakfast Rotary, but has had quite a working career here in Lebanon, running Ponderosa and Bonanzas, and then you had the opportunity to go with Rocky Williams, start in sales, and then get promoted to manager, and ran that place in Mount Juliet for a while. And
Yep.
And then what happened?
Well, and Rocky sold the dealership. It's been a couple of years ago, and Rocky and I we had created such a great relationship and had such a really special thing there. We're very successful. But the new people, nothing wrong with them. They're just a different way of doing business. And I'm more of a hometown kind of guy and local kind of guy rather than corporate. And so left there and called Tony Bates, who I've known for a long, long time, since back in the 80s. He is a wonderful person. Called Tony and said, "Hey, Tony, I'd like to come and talk to you." And he said, "Why, absolutely, I'd love to talk to you." And so we we put something together, and I'm there helping Tony do just whatever he wants me to do.
Which includes, I understand, a number of things, but I know you were doing quite a bit of internet sales.
We're working in the internet sales department, but work with our digital advertisers, SEO and SEM, and then our third party providers, and like I said, just whatever Tony needs me to do, I'm there to help and assist him and the dealership to be successful and grow. And we've got a beautiful place, our new place. We've been there a little over a year now, Coleman, out on Franklin Road, and it is just a huge facility, a double size service shop. So certainly can take care of a lot of service customers, but we have grown our used and new inventory, Coleman. We've got well over 400 vehicles, about 420 or so this morning on the ground, and got a little bit of, when I talk to people, I tell them we've got a little bit of something for everybody, Yeah. So if you're looking for, the Range Rovers, the Infiniti, the Lexus, we've even had Porsche, BMW. You just about name it. We're going to have something there that's going to fit the bill.
Well, you seem to adapt pretty well too, because there's quite a bit of difference. Now, I know it's service and it's taking care of customers, pretty much whatever kind of business you're in, but there's a lot of difference from the food business and the car business.
Coleman, it's you would think that, but I've said this many times on this program here, Coleman. I love people, and it's all about people, regardless if you're selling food or if you're selling vehicles, if you're selling service, or if you're selling wiper blades. It's all about people and knowing how to take care of people and talk to them and treat them with respect and dignity, regardless of the situation that they're in.
Well, that I guess maybe brings us to Rotary. How long have you been a Rotarian?
Since 2019, Coleman, so about 5 years now. And Chad Williams, actually, who was a friend also, and he had invited me to. He's has the Smile Gallery here in town. Does a great job there. But he had invited me to Rotary several times, and really I just didn't know anything about it. And finally he invited me one time, and I said, "Yeah, I'll go." And it takes a little while to really learn what all Rotary's big. It's a worldwide organization, but then Coleman, just the good that Rotary does both locally and internationally. It's really amazing. Rotary International was part of the polio eradication that started in the mid-1980s, and was one of worked with the home health, the World Health Organization, and the another organization that I can't think of also, but started in 1988 the global polio eradication effort. And basically, except for Pakistan and Afghanistan, polio has been eradicated in the world. And Rotary was a big part of that. But then locally, Coleman, we this year we will give to local nonprofits right here in Wilson County that are helping local Wilson County people. About 45 different organizations to the total of about $70,000 that go right here back into this county, back to, like I said, helping people. The principal motto of Rotary is service above self, and that's what we believe in. And we have got just a fantastic club. It's the Lebanon Breakfast Rotary. And we've got about 80 members currently, and just really are able, through the help of all of those members, to do a lot of wonderful things right here in Wilson County.
Well, it actually is an offshoot of the Noon Rotary Club that's been here ever since I can remember, before my time, I'm pretty sure. And between the two of you, I know you operate the concession stand at the fair.
That's right.
And I believe you all have a fish fry.
We have a fish fry in October of every year.
Yeah. And that's where you get that $70,000 or so.
It is.
That's where most of it comes from.
Well,
anyway.
that's where it comes from.
Yeah, okay.
That's where it comes from.
Well, I think you've done a wonderful job in with both of those things, and I mean $70,000 is quite a bit of money for a civic club to do in a community.
Well, it is, Coleman, and it takes a lot of work and a lot of effort by a lot of people, and. I tell the club all the time I feel very blessed to be a part of such a great organization that helps so many people. Yes, it's 45 groups, but when you look at the thousands and thousands of people that those 45 groups help right here in Wilson County, it's really a very humbling feeling.
Well, when did you assume the presidency?
July of last year.
So you go through June of this year?
I go through the end of June.
2025.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
Little more responsibility if you're president, I guess, but don't you have a year to kind of prepare for that?
Well, you do. You've got a year to kind of get ready, and but the thing that I have learned, Coleman, you can never get ready for that, and I take whatever I do very, very seriously. And try to give it 100% and give it all that I've got. And it's not just something that it's not just something that's a happenstance, but I take it very seriously when I'm in that position.
Well, I have to take my hat off to you Rotarians, because I'm not a Rotarian, haven't been. I have been a Kiwanian. I am a retired, not really retired. I can't even think of the name, but anyway, I'm a Lion, but I'm not I'm kind of a retired Lion, if you will. Yeah. I mean, but the other civic clubs all struggle to get members, and everybody. Rotary doesn't seem to have a big problem keeping your membership and being the largest civic club, especially here in Wilson County.
We've been very successful with that, and it's because of the great members that we've got, Coleman, and I'll just invite you. We would love for you to be a Rotarian of the Lebanon Breakfast Rotary Club. We would let you be in that club, Coleman.
If I was 20 years younger, I might consider it.
Yeah.
You do a lot of good things here. That a lot of fine people that are part of it, and certainly you're one of them, Billy. I was just thinking as you sat here this morning. You used to come every Monday to talk about the car dealership, and I've missed you. Mondays haven't been the same since that ended.
Yeah, well, it has been a big miss, Coleman, and I said I got to bring you your first cup of coffee this morning, where used to I would bring you your second cup on Monday morning, but I've missed being here because we did it for about 13 years every Monday, and me and you kind of had a running joke. I think I missed one in all of those Mondays.
You were here more than
I was here more than you were, but But, I feel very, very blessed to have been here in this community as long as I have. And I feel very blessed to be with Tony Bates and Bates Ford right now. Coleman, I love what I'm doing. I love the people I work with. Paul Tubbs is wonderful. He's a great guy. And, all of the other people that are there. But having known Tony for so long, like I said, I just really enjoy being there.
Well, Billy, it's just so good to have you, because I've been wondering when we were ever going to get you back, try to have a reason or whatever, but we found one.
There you go. There you go.
Well, have a great one. Appreciate it so much.
All right. Thank you, Coleman.
All right. That's part one of Coleman and Company. We've got more. We hope you'll keep it right here, FM 98.9.
And once again, we are going to check in with Commander Chuck and on-time traffic, see how we're doing out there on those roadways. Traffic brought to you by Absolute Kubota, where premium brands require premium parts and service. Contact Absolute Kubota's Elite Certified Service Department today to schedule an appointment. 1506 West Main in Lebanon, and you can call them at 615-449-6171. And here's Commander Chuck.
Good morning. Just a couple of minor accidents out here in the last 15-20 minutes. 40 West near Debubrium. There at the South Loop was being pushed over to the side. Also clearing up that wreck at Charlotte Ave and 21st. It's in its cleanup stages. Lots of radar all over Middle Tennessee this morning. Give yourself plenty of extra travel time. When you need dependable towing, make sure you call STR Towing and Recovery. Check out their website, strtow.com. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
The Dancing Lights of Christmas, Tennessee's largest, longest-running, and most affordable drive-through light and music show is back. We're talking 3 million lights spanning a 2.5-mile route, all synchronized to some of your favorite Christmas tunes. After the lights, Santa's Village is loaded with food and fun, a petting zoo, pictures with Santa, even a helicopter ride above the lights. Take the short drive out to the Wilson County Fairgrounds to make some Christmas memories that will last a lifetime. Open 5 p.m. nightly through January 4th. More info at thedancinglightsofchristmas.com. Family owned and operated for over 15 years.
We'll have partly cloudy and warmer conditions for today. Highs will be in the lower 50s. Partly cloudy skies again tonight. Lows in the mid to upper 30s. And then more clouds start to move in on Tuesday. Highs remaining in the mid 50s. This weather forecast brought to you by Walker Auction and Realty, professional auction and real estate services. Get top dollar for your home, land, or personal property. Log on to MikeWalkerAuctions.com. They know auctions. With your Severe View forecast, I'm Drew Richards.
And we welcome you to part two of Coleman and Company here on a Monday morning. We welcome Gail Helen. Gail, of course, is the Director of Marketing and Events for the Farm Bureau Expo Center, and she's here live in person this morning.
I am.
Well, you usually are.
I usually am, yes, that's correct.
Last week you were somewhere else, but we did a little improvising.
We did a little improvising, and I appreciate that very much. We were very, very busy trying to accommodate and extend our gratitude to first responders who support our events. And, we really wanted to take a moment to thank them. We can't do what we do without them. So,
well, how long now have you been director of Farm Bureau Expo?
It'll be 5 years in May.
Boy, time flies.
I know. I was thinking about that the other day. I was like, wow, I can't believe it's been 5 years.
Well, how does 2024 compare with the previous 3, I guess, or 3.5 or whatever?
Well, we experienced a dramatic increase in utility bills. Dramatic. That definitely impacted the bottom line. We are still going to come out ahead of the game. Yeah. So I'm very blessed with that. And, we got a whole team that we can thank for that. But not nearly to the extent of what we have done previously. And if you look at it, it is utilities. That is the main thing. And maintenance is the same thing. That
include electricity, gas, water, and sewer?
Yeah,
all of that.
The biggest part of that is electricity.
Electricity.
Mm-hmm.
Cost of electricity.
Yep.
It's been going up some.
It has.
Yeah.
It has. Okay. And then, we've added staff. So, for a lot of people, I say it all the time, but a lot of people still don't realize that we're responsible for making the money to operate the building and to pay the salaries of the people that are working there. And just also maintenance. And so, and the building is what? 7 years old, 8 years old now. And it's 2016, 24, 8 years old. And, it needs some stuff. I mean, it's done a great job. People still love the building, but now we're going to have to pay some attention to things that need to be done to maintenance that building and keep it up.
So you prepping people in that direction a little bit?
Yeah, I've been working on numbers, looking at the rates, seeing what we need to do with the rates, also looking at the way the contracts are done. Right now, if somebody wanted to rent the building on the same weekend for 3 years, providing I had that weekend, I could do that contract and it would lock in their rates for 3 years. That is part of the reason also that, it kind of caps what our revenue is going to be. So if it's capping the revenue, but the expenses are going up in live time, eventually there's the rubber's going to meet the road there somewhere along the line. And so we may have to do something where we can guarantee their date, lock in their date, but the rate will be what the market rate is every year. That may be the way we have to go.
Well, I suppose you always have to consider the competition, and I don't know how strong really competition is, but we're not the only place that somebody can go, obviously.
Right.
Other counties have venues and so on. So you do have to be competitive, right?
You do. You have to be aware of what else is out there. Based on what I know, and I talk to a lot of them, I would say we are a little more lenient than most, and as far as accommodation, our rates are, I would say, competitive, but I think that we've got room to increase and still remain competitive. I think we definitely have room for that. So, it's going to be a combination. So what that ultimately means in a nutshell is there's going to be some changes. And I've invited a couple people, I don't know, maybe 4 actually, that just to give me their feedback on kind of how we do it and based on their business interaction with other venues, what their perspective is. Because I would really like some additional opinions on how to approach that to remain competitive.
Well, in the meantime, what's going on right now?
Nothing.
You kind of slowed down for the holidays.
We have, believe it or not, we're actually, the whole staff is off most of this week. They're taking their annual days to make it a nice vacation, and that's good. But that's this weekend. Next weekend, we roll right back in and start 2025.
You have any big things? You have a New Year, people come out there for a New Year's party or something?
We have in the past. It would make a great location to have a big New Year's Eve party, and I think that would be amazing. But for right now, Motorama has the main exhibit hall for the first weekend in January. So that's going to be the next event up, and next week is going to be maintenance and painting and all kinds of stuff. So, we're very grateful for that little bit of downtime that we get because we can really concentrate on what needs to be done.
Well, if anybody wants some more information, you are the Director of Marketing and Events. What's the best way to contact you?
615-450-3049. And you can always check out the website, which is farmbureauexpo.com. And
telephone or website?
Either way.
Right.
Either way. You can reach us either way. And, we were grateful for a very good year. And we look forward to offering the county and the community as a whole a 2025.
Well, we'll be here next Monday, I hope, and hope to see you.
I'll be here.
In the meantime, have a great one.
You too. You too.
Gail Hallam, Director of Marketing and Events for the Farm Bureau Expo Center. We're 22 before the hour, and I've invited Sarah Haston to be my guest this morning. She's here live in studio, Director of Economic Development for the City of Lebanon. Good morning.
Good morning, Coleman.
How are you?
I'm well, thank you. How are you?
I'm fine. You get up this early every morning. I mean, are you out at this time most mornings?
Sure. Yeah. No, so I get up at 6. I take Addison still to school. So that makes me have to get up. But technically, the office opens at 7:30. So.
Oh, 7:30, not 8?
No, we're 7:30 to 4:30 at the city. So,
I thought it was 8 to 4:30.
No, so
you have an extra half hour in there that I wasn't aware of.
Yeah, we're early risers.
Well,
I think that probably started a long time ago for people to pay their water bill on their way to work, don't you?
Oh, okay.
I bet that's probably
Maybe
why.
so. I hadn't thought about it because honestly, I thought you opened at 8. But
I always try to figure out the reason why behind certain things.
How's Mayor Bell?
Mayor Bell's great.
Have you seen him since Saturday night?
No, since.
Well, how do you know he's?
Well, my husband has recovered, so I'll just make the bold assumption that Mayor Bell has recovered as well.
Well, I am not trying to rub it in or be obnoxious. It was. I guess I have been trying to figure out which Tennessee team played the worst this weekend. The Vols or the Titans.
Well, I'll tell you. So I was really looking forward to going to the Rose Bowl and the Rose Parade.
Oh, I'll bet you were.
So good old Pasadena was on my list to get back to, but
You obviously, obviously, I'm taking, being from that area of the world, you have probably at least seen one Rose Parade, not just on television.
Yes, I have. And so even being, when I was in school and I was a member of the Junior Kiwanis Club, we had an opportunity to volunteer and go and help set up the floats. But one of the really cool things that most people don't know is after the Rose Parade for a good week, they have all of the floats in large warehouse area where you can go walk around, get up close, and you can see the floats. And then you're out of the elements and everything. So that's always really neat to do as well.
Did you get to do some of that?
Mm-hmm. And my sister actually goes every year as well.
Well, talk a little bit about that. That's something that everybody doesn't. Most of us have just seen them on television.
Yeah,
actually.
So it's really cool. So where I'm from, they play it all day long. They just keep it on repeat. There's no commercials. It's really neat. But I think what blows my mind the most is that every single element of those floats is a natural element. So even the parts that don't look like flowers are seeds or sesame seeds or stems. They're all a natural element. And I just think they're all absolutely beautiful. And then the mechanics of them as well are always super impressive. And then the bands from all over. It's just a really grand parade. And I love to watch it. And the weather's usually very nice because even if it's chilly, it's sunny. So it's not too bad.
But do the commentators, those who are describing the floats, and I haven't watched this a lot, to be honest. That's not my main interest on New Year's Day. It's more the football games. But the TV has been on, and I've seen a little bit of that over the years. Do they do justice to the beauty and are their descriptions really valid about what is there?
Yes, absolutely. So typically when they describe the floats, they talk about what is most unique about that particular float. They all have a theme, and they name the theme, and they talk about which florals are on there, but they'll also talk about, they'll give you a number. So let's say this particular float is covered in roses. They will give you the amount of roses it has. So they always talk about a specific element that makes it different than the other floats, but they go into great detail about the amount of hours it took, the artist who designed the float, the organization that put the man hours behind it, and then the amount of detail that went into it. And they'll describe what natural elements went into it.
Well, so a lot of information is made available, a lot of preparation for the parade description itself.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So somebody has to be given that. The people who are on TV don't go out and get all that themselves.
No.
But they do a good job in describing what's there and the uniqueness of some. It's different every year.
It is very different every year, and but the commentators are not. It's always been the same commentators, and so they know what they're doing, and they know what people want to hear, and it's a fun parade. I don't think there's anything like it. It's really unique.
Well, I'm sorry. I take it the fact that Tennessee's not going means you're not going.
No, I guess I'm not.
But you had plans.
I had plans and a dream in my head.
Well, if my memory is right, the mayor was on last week, and he said he wasn't. He's been a little bit under the weather, had a cold, whatever. He didn't want to make things worse by going and being in the cold weather Saturday night at Ohio State.
Because he had originally planned to go, but then with the weather, you're right. He just wanted to give himself more time to get well.
But I think he was planning to go to California.
That's right.
And so were a lot of other people.
Yeah. And I was going to sneak away, too.
Well, I know it's a disappointment, but honestly, I'm not so sure. I wouldn't rather get beat pretty bad like they did than to lose by 1 point.
Yeah. I just think that, Vol Nation kind of got in their head where they thought, they built up all this own momentum in their own head, and they all read and watch all these videos that are kind of in a vacuum, so they think they've got all this going on, but then when they got there, it was, they just got outplayed. They had a better team that played them that particular day.
Well, that is true. They didn't have a good game against Arkansas, but otherwise they played pretty well this season until Saturday night, and I know there's a lot of disappointment.
Yeah.
Including you, because you're not going to
I know. And my husband, we were sitting there last night watching Sunday Night Football, and he picked up his phone and he said, I was going to look and see where we're playing this weekend, but we're not. So
Sarah Hastings, my guest. It's time to take a break. This is Coleman and Company, FM 98.9.
And once again, we are going to check in with Commander Chuck and on-time traffic, see what's happening out there on those roadways. And traffic brought to you by Bates Ford, located at 1673 West Main Street. They got the oil change special going on for you, $39.95, up to 5 quarts plus disposal. And you can give them a call at 444-8221. Here's Commander Chuck.
Good morning. We've seen more radar out here in the last hour than we have accidents. So give yourself extra time. You're going to see quite a bit of radar throughout Middle Tennessee over the next couple of days. It's trying to build at 24 westbound, passing Bell Road. All that traffic coming in from Murfreesboro, Rutherford County this time of the morning. But again, traffic seems to be a little bit lighter than normal. Princess Hot Chicken has new items on the menu. Check them all out. Order online today at princesshotchicken.com. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
Renewal happens here at Lebanon Center for Rehabilitation and Healing. Lebanon Center for Rehabilitation and Healing has experienced new leadership and a new atmosphere. Same location in the heart of Lebanon, 731 Castle Heights Court on the Castle Heights campus. Lebanon Center for Rehabilitation and Healing is providing 5-star clinical outcomes to short-term and long-term care residents. Call 615-444-4319 for a tour and to experience the new culture. Renewal happens here at Lebanon Center for Rehabilitation and Healing.
Hey, this is Dr. Derek Gregory, and I'm proud to announce to you the opening of our brand new dental practice, Gregory Dental Group, at 1746 West Main Street, just across the road from Sports Village. Come experience modern dentistry at its best. We're always welcoming new patients, and I truly look forward to taking the best care of all your dental needs. Come by or call us today.
That's Gregory Dental Group, 615-444-0322, or online at mylebanontndentist.com. Gregory Dental Group, compassion, knowledge, skill.
And we continue here on this Monday morning. By the way, we'll have tomorrow off. Our station owner, manager, and Susie has been very generous to allow us to be off tomorrow and Wednesday, Christmas Eve, Christmas Day. And then next week, New Year's Eve and New Year's Day, we're going to be off. So Tuesday and Wednesday off 2 weeks in a row, thanks to the generosity of the boss, and we appreciate that. Hope you'll miss us, but hope you miss us enough to continue to join us. Sarah Hastings is here this morning, Director of Economic Development, and we haven't got to your job, but we're going to now. What kind of year you had?
We have had such a successful big year. This has been one of those years where Mayor Bell and I can sit back and go, we did it. There's been, in his first 4 years, there's been several projects that took several years And if you know Maribel as well as I think you do, he doesn't have a lot of patience.
He just wants everything yesterday.
He does. You know, he challenges you and he makes you work hard and he pushes you. But, you know, one of the things that's been so great about him is he's been a true partner in economic development. He wants to be there from the beginning.
Yeah. Well, by the way, he does get that honest. I know his daddy a little bit.
Well, with him being there from the beginning, it makes the deal cycle a lot longer for him in his brain because he's been there so long. But it's very powerful to have him there. So when we're on a recruitment adventure, whether like when we're in Las Vegas and, you know, I show up to Sam's Club and Walmart where, you know, we have an appointment and, you know, they realize they're talking to the mayor, you know, it takes that conversation to a next level. It's like we skip the first 2 appointments and go to the 3rd appointment. And that's a real big deal. And it tells them that he cares about them, that he wants them in his city, that he's, you know, committed to the project. And it really elevates it. And, you know, he's real good, too, about having all this information. You know how much he knows Lebanon and how much passion he has for Lebanon. So that comes across through these conversations. And it makes them say, you know what, we do want to be here. This is a great city. This is a great opportunity. And he really helps sells it. But then it puts that long cycle on him. And he's like, Sarah, have you finished this one yet? Have you finished this one yet? But so this year in 2024, I'm proud to say that we did finish it. And that's great. So we're excited about that. And if you drive out there, you can see the road construction. You can see everything coming together. We have some drone footage that goes out there, and we've been able to see that. But I think the next time they do their inspection, Maribel and I are going to get on a golf cart with the construction team and go out there and take a look. So that's real exciting.
What's your biggest accomplishment this year, or is there one?
You know, it really, I want to say that it's Sam's Club. That's a huge opportunity for the city from a revenue standpoint, and also filling a void with our consumer goods and adding that momentum to South Hartman. You know, we've worked really hard on South Hartman, from the city building that road to us building the arteries that are coming off of it, to us putting the overlay on it, the South Hartman overlay, and the city putting in the infrastructure with the utilities. So now having that retail core is a big deal. So I'm really excited about that.
How much input do you, as Economic Development Director, have with that? I mean, I'm sure they listen to you and you have some input. That is part of your job, isn't it?
Yes, it is. I'm a part of the team. I'm a part of the leadership team. So the way the city functions under the mayor, he has department heads, and I'm one of the department heads. He actually promoted me to that. In the past, I was just kind of hanging out on the org chart. They didn't really know where to put me. And he's really created what we call a development team. And that development team gets together and really helps map that out. And so I'd like to think that I do provide input for that. I was heavily involved in the Gateway overlay, because as we went through and looked at how that ideally could be zoned, I was the advocate for commercial, wanting to make sure that we included commercial and interstate commercial right off of I-40, and what that needed to look like and what types of businesses needed to be there. So that was in 2016 and 2017, and now we're in 2024. We are putting those businesses there. So that's a big deal. You're seeing them come off the ground.
One of the things that comes up, there's, say, a parcel of land out here. Somebody owns that, and let's say it's in the city, but some people may want to do something that doesn't really go with the flow and the plan, because you look at this and you plan for years in advance, and what will fit well here, what won't fit, what what is attractive to the people we want to come in here. All of that's like kind of like a big jigsaw puzzle, it seems to me.
Yeah, it really is. And so they use what they call the future land use map and then the current land use map. And that's where zoning comes into play and what it is currently zoned. And then with the future land use map is if it were to come up for a rezone, here's the ideal zoning for the city. Now, that's a tricky, I guess not tricky is the right word. It's sensitive. You know, property rights are something that we all believe that we have. So if I own the property, I want to zone it the way that I want to zone it and sell it, right? Or develop it. But when it comes up for a rezone, you need permission to rezone your property in the city. And that goes through the planning commission, and then it ultimately goes to city council. So I'm not involved in those decisions, but I have helped.
You make recommendations, though.
Correct.
Yeah.
I have helped with a formula, and it has not always been that case where I make recommendations. That slowly evolved. And the first project I was involved in for that was the Publix on 109. But we have created a formula where in the past we always looked at the cost of running services, utilities to it. Now we also look at the revenue stream that an opportunity that could come with the zoning. So if it's going to be commercial, we look at the opportunity of what could go there with the synergy of what's close to it, what would make sense, what's our gaps in our community. Like we have reports that tell us what our Lebanon residents are buying within the city and what they're having to leave the city limits to purchase because we don't have it available. So if it can fit into that, then that's where I like to provide advice on what that opportunity is. But then there's also what we call an opportunity cost. If we were to give it away to something that would not have that stream, there's a cost involved with a missed opportunity. Mm-hmm. So that's where I come into play with those recommendations.
What's 2025 look like?
Well, so more sit-down restaurants. I'm very proud of the Aubrey's that we recruited on West Main Street. Of course, Mayor Rick Bell was heavily involved in that as well. They're a restaurant out of Knoxville, and they're coming here. And, of course, you know how much he likes Knoxville. We talked about that. So I'm excited about that, and I think we'll have more of those. Jonathan's will start their construction. The Goat will start their construction. So seeing those come off the ground, I think are a big deal. And I'm also proud of the local entrepreneurs that we have here that have really stepped up their game. And, they care so much about their community and love their community and have really put some creative ideas out, with the brewery, Town Square Social. There's a new one called Public House, Lebanon Public House, which is across from the Capitol Theater. Then we have Olivia's Cocktail and Oyster Bar. And then Island Bistro. I mean, we have some great food options downtown that I think are awesome, that people are really enjoying. And then, Rick and I were just talking about looking at 2025. You've got a lot happening on West Main and a revitalization going on. You've got older buildings that have been remodeled, like with old Kmart, you got Marshalls and Ulta. Mm-hmm. Even places like Arby's has been remodeled. Wendy's has been remodeled. You've got that old car wash. Was it Freebird?
You got me. But
Freedom. Oh, sorry, Rick. If you're listening, I can't believe I forgot it. But that has been torn down, and that is going to be a new coffee place. Tim Hortons, it's called. And so that's exciting. People are excited about that. They're from Canada. And it's almost like a Canadian version of Krispy Kreme.
Oh.
But seeing that revitalization, a new Starbucks coming, And then, of course, Aubrey's coming. So you're really seeing that. And there's new development in front of Hamilton Station as well, Hamilton Springs. So we're seeing that redevelopment on West Main and heading west. So we have the downtown core going, and then we also have West Main going. Freebird. It was Freebird. Okay. I've been corrected.
What does an incident like that happened on the square a weekend ago? We get a lot of publicity out of that. I mean, I've had people all over Middle Tennessee that I know mentioning that.
I think that video made national news. I mean, it was insane.
Well, we're getting some publicity, even though in a way adverse. Does that hurt us?
No, because that's something that could happen anywhere.
Yeah.
You know, it really could. And I think we're so lucky that it happened in the middle of the night.
Right.
I mean, that same day, we had a huge event downtown. That was Christmas on the Square. There was so many people down there shopping and celebrating and caroling. And
if it's got to happen, 3 o'clock in the morning is the best time.
Yes. The unfortunate part was the power, taking out the poles. But
we're out of time. Thank you so much for coming out this morning. I appreciate the good job you're doing, and just keep on keeping on.
Well, thank you. I appreciate you asking me.
All right. Until Thursday, I wish you a magnificent day.